Yeah. Well, let's chat. What do you got going? You've been gone. You've been on vacation. You've been working. You've been out of the country, or Puerto Rico, but still like it's out of the country.
Yeah, still U.S. territory.
Yeah, yeah.
All you have to do is just take your real ID and hop on over there. So it's actually not too dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about what you're doing out there.
What we're doing out there is marketing and branding. Last time I got to golf with an attorney and one of the top luxury real estate brokers out there. So
Nice.
that was great. I got to apply all the mobility
Yeah.
that you taught me because there was no time for warm-ups.
Yeah, yeah.
Literally was shooting $4 million condo and then a $1.3 million condo for him. And I had to do it in under 30 minutes, photo, video, and then still have enough time to shoot the course too and get drone footage. So I got to play, but I also had to shoot at the same time.
Yeah.
But started working with those individuals because there's a lot of properties there that they just don't get the attention that they need.
Right.
And a lot of the times it's these videographers that are creating all these viral and trendy edits that look cool and might get a bunch of likes and views, but they don't really do anything. So I got the opportunity to go out there, and there was a lady that actually wanted me to showcase a $45 million listing.
Jeez.
And it was crazy. I was working my friend's mastermind and doing the photo and the video for it, and also trying to close that contract at the same time and talk to my broker and make sure that I was protecting myself. Because as you know, I've been hosed so many times. So I'm like, okay, this time, I'm going to make sure that, I protect myself.
Right.
Everything's in writing. And because of one specific clause that I put into the contract, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it led to me meeting Ricardo. So Ricardo's with Apex Luxury Real Estate, and he's also a very experienced attorney. So now the whole goal is we're going out there. Val is going to be potentially opening up a restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
There's a pivot.
There was it's not really a pivot. It kind of just happened because I felt like when we went there, I had this mental breakthrough. And it kind of all started. I went down. We stayed at Royal Isabella, and there was this gate, and I couldn't sleep. So it was 2:30 in the morning. And so I ended up getting up, and it was just clear skies. I mean, you could see every single star out there, and I thought it was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go explore this little beach that they have, private beach access. And there's a gate, and there's a security guard. I push the button, and he's like, you sure you want to go out there? I'm like, I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, there's some Dominican Republics. I mean, there's drug cartels, sometimes land on the beach. I mean, do I want to go out there? I don't know, but I mean, we just got done shooting the mastermind, and one of my friends' dad is ex-Delta Force, so I'm like, well, he wouldn't be scared, so I'm gonna go into the darkness. So I pushed the button, he let me in, and I went down, and it was kind of transformational because ever since then, it just seemed like all the right things were happening. So it didn't seem like pivots; it just seemed like all the right pieces were starting to come into play. Like the guy who owns the land for the restaurant, the current tenants, because it's on a lease.
Yeah.
They're just not doing a good job. They don't care about the community. They're typical Americans. They move there for the benefits.
Right.
They set up a business with an LLC just for the benefits. And that's not what the whole purpose of Act 60 is for.
Right.
Act 60 is for stimulating the economy and giving people, a way to experience the Puerto Rico culture and the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going down there now, is being able to paint a picture of what makes Puerto Rico so great, why it's a good investment, highlighting certain features in the market, up-and-coming developments like Bahia Beach or Dorado, so that people know a little bit more about what they're getting into. Because it can be scary. I mean, a lot of people look at it and they say, oh, there's hurricanes. And yeah, that's true, but look at the buildings. They're made of solid concrete. They're not going anywhere.
Right. They're not.
They're not going
Other
anywhere.
things might be going places.
You might, but I mean, as long as you stay within the building, I mean, you got hurricane-rated glass, you've got all these different standards for new construction that they have to have in order to justify that build and that price point, and also in that location. But obviously, you got Jake and Logan Paul that have a place there. They used to have a place there. I mean, Michael Jordan has a place there. I mean, you've got so many famous celebrities and professional athletes and all these CEOs and executives, which some of them, they don't even want to be seen. Like, every time I have my camera out, they're just like, nope, no cameras. I'm like, okay, no big deal. But it's a great community. And
are these people moving down there for business decisions, or are they moving down there to sort of get out of the U.S. limelight, or a combination of both?
I think it's getting out of the U.S. limelight. They want some privacy because you could, fly a helicopter into your gated community. You don't have to worry about cameras or paparazzi because and it's gated, so you can't get in anywhere. So you can peacefully get off of your helicopter and you could peacefully go to your house, and you don't really have to worry about
The paparazzi.
people,
and
the
all that
paparazzi,
stuff.
because it's like your own private community, and
Right.
there's plenty of family amenities, restaurants, and I think that's kind of what people are going after. They're going after both. I mean,
Right.
obviously it's a good tax incentive, but it's also a way for them to just get away from everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were them, like, I would do the same thing. I mean, you hear it so many times, like, you know, you don't want people to know that you have money, or else you become a target on your back. So
Sure.
that's what I've been really enjoying, is kind of just meeting some of those people and being able to figure out how to showcase some of these products, like remain discreet, but also help show people like what is out there and available. Because so many of them are like, oh, I need to list my house, but I don't want it listed anywhere. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well then how do you expect it to sell?
Right.
You know, it's a beautiful property, but
No one knows it's for sale.
if nobody knows it's for sale, then shoot. I mean, what are you going to do? And then not only that too, I mean, yes, people speak English down there too, but
Yeah.
you can only imagine. I mean, nobody from America would want to do business with someone that couldn't articulate clearly in English with them on what it is that they're getting themselves into.
Yeah.
There's always the language barrier and the miscommunication. And I've worked with a bunch of different brokers, and there is definitely a level of people's English competence in the island.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to experience that. I mean, just even in having conversations, I could tell who actually could negotiate in English, who knows how to go through details in English, who actually, you know, typically just uses ChatGPT for all of their prompts or all of their speeches, which
Yeah.
to me, that doesn't signify knowledge. That
Yeah.
signifies that, well, you don't really know what you're talking about, because if you knew what you were talking about, you'd be able to step in front of the camera and do it without a script.
Right.
And you just like we're sitting down and having this conversation. It's like it's all in here.
Yeah.
Like, it's all from the people I've talked to, all the people that I know that I've seen, all the places I've seen, all the things that I've done. Like it's real. I mean, and I have photo and video evidence of everything.
Yeah.
Even starting to record audio.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What's your biggest takeaway with you? Because you've been bouncing back and forth between here and, you know, the Boise area for a couple years now, I think, you know, something like that, or maybe less than that, you know. But what's your biggest takeaway as to the difference between here and there?
I think the difference between here and there is, one, the weather.
Yeah. Well, there's that.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah.
I mean, the weather plays, I feel like, I mean, because with Dorado Beach, it was originally done by the Rockefeller family, and his whole concept was that if you were in an environment like that you would perform at a higher level.
Yeah.
Kind of look at it like sports. People go down there because it feels like you just have more oxygen, you just have better weather, you're in a better mood,
Yeah.
you feel energized. When I go down there personally, it takes me what typically takes me like 8 hours to do, I can get it done in 2.
Yeah.
And I can still go enjoy my day.
Yeah.
Right. So I love that reason. Second is, you know, I think it's the culture,
Yeah.
and the way that everybody lives their life a little bit differently. It's still like there's still brokers and real estate professionals there, and attorneys and tax accountants and successful
Everything.
business people, developers. There's everything. Doctors, right? I mean, there's so many of the same opportunities and jobs and careers and business opportunities down there that there are here. It's just at a whole nother level.
Yeah.
People
All level because of their income status, or because of their ability to sort of relax when they go down there?
Their ability to relax, and also the fact that it's just such a central hub for so many different countries to come through. You're in an international airport where it's about $80 to fly to New York.
Yeah.
It's a $200 flight to Europe. And you think about that, I mean, from flying from Boise, Idaho to anywhere, I mean, it's like $1,500 for, you know, Val and I to go visit our friends in Texas for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just flying like basic main economy. So
And there's no easy way to get into Austin anyways. But
there's no easy way. But then you start looking at it, I could fly Comfort Plus, or even I could upgrade to first class.
Yeah.
And I could only pay a few $100 for maybe both of us to go over to Italy, or go over to France, or maybe hop on over to New York. And so I think it's the fact that people are able to do business and travel for work at a much lower rate, so that it's more accessible. So I think that's just it. It's like travel isn't something you have to save up for months and months and months now. It's something that you could work, 1 or 2 days and be like, okay, I can make this trip happen to go see my family, or go see some friends, or maybe there's an interview, maybe there's a job opportunity that you go work for a few weeks, you can come back and you can have some time to relax, and it's only a couple hours of flight time.
Yeah.
So,
which is huge then.
yeah.
Yeah. You're sort of in there. I remember because I went there for New Year's years ago. It's an hour ahead of even New York, I think. So, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different time.
Different time. Yeah.
Well, cool. What else is transpiring on your agenda? You're back here now. So what's the goal here? Or how long are you here for?
I'm always here for work.
Right.
I love the community. I love everybody here. And I think that's kind of the one thing that I'm always going to keep something close to my heart, because it's where it all started, right?
Sure.
I wouldn't have made it all the way to Puerto Rico, or working with a private equity firm, or even just like the jobs that are starting to come in Massachusetts or New York or Texas or Florida. I mean, all those originated from here.
Yeah.
And so I think that's why I always want to still be available for work. I mean, I do help out with the Boy Serial Producers magazine, is like one of the main photographers and editors for that. So I enjoy it because it's a great opportunity to meet new people. It's kind of one of those things in college when I was bartending. I didn't like talking to people.
Yeah.
But then I realized that my income was literally attached to my ability to go up and talk to brand new people and get them to like me, and maybe see who they were, what they did, where they're from, how their night's going. I mean, you just got there's just so much here that I still love, but obviously I felt like if I wanted to grow and I wanted to continue to meet new people that could continue to guide me in the right direction and help me in the right direction, that I needed to start expanding outside of just what my life could look like and
open up your wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let
fly.
Your wings. That's it. Start to fly.
Yeah.
Start to fly. Because you're starting to see, at least I'm assuming, you're starting to see here that the building community is going nuts, and there's a lot of people that have a lot of money in this area that are building some crazy houses, and the whole rumor of what's his bucket, the singer, can't think of his name, Post Malone, moving here, not moving here, and it was the Wheeler House, that's that massive monstrosity that's way out there, that's Post Malone's house. But you're starting to see homes like that are being built like all over the valley, which is pretty crazy, because I'm assuming, coming from the Bay Area, right, where you could buy a tract home for a couple $1 million, and here a couple $1 million can buy you a 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 square foot home, and some land, if you wanted some land, right? So I'm assuming you're probably starting to see some of that trend move, especially with the sort of the higher end photography and videography and stuff that you do, which in the 4 years that we've been here, we've just seen crazy transitions, so I can't even imagine people that have like born and raised here, what they've witnessed, from fields to now just people sort of everywhere.
Yeah, there's development. I mean, there's so much going on the development side.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy, because people just say, all the time in the market, oh, it's not a good area to be in. No, it's a great area to be in, because you can see they've got the Valnova community that they're building. That's a master plan community that's going to be going on for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
You've got Terraview, you've got the ranch, you've got Alquist doing all these commercial buildings and building these skyscrapers. There's just so much happening, right? I mean, it's not there yet.
Yeah.
I mean,
give it 10 years and it'll be completely different than what it was today.
Yeah. And they always say, like, watch where the money's going, and people that come in and develop these communities that I get the opportunity to work with, it's amazing. I might just be doing the marketing, the branding on it, but you can start to project, okay, great, this is a great market to be in, because if they're dumping in tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, or billions, just like Micron, well, that's you projecting the market, looking at it in a 5, 10, 15, 20-year scale, saying, oh, wow, this is projecting growth. So, but it takes a commitment.
Yeah.
You can't just say, I want to develop a community and I want to go through all this politics and all the bureaucracy and get everything approved, get everything filed, pay all these fees just to get everything set up, and then be like, oh yeah, you know what? I need my money back. Yeah. No, you have to invest, and you're going to have to invest for a really long time. So I think that's what's super cool to see, is like how much is changing, but how much people believe in that change, because they're putting the money towards it, and they're
wanting to see the growth.
Yeah.
Where then you have a lot of the old crusty people are like, we don't want growth. We don't want growth. It's like, yeah, it's here. And it's like, if you own your house, you're welcome, because we just gave you equity in your house, so what you bought for $50,000, you can now sell for $500,000, so it is a crazy moving out here from what we were used to out in the Bay Area, right? And then coming to here, and now you're starting to see it sort of do the same exact thing that it did, years ago in the Bay Area. Yeah. So, which is it's cool to see. It's also scary to see, It
is scary to see.
But it's like, if you get in at the right time, then I think you're good to go. But if you're always on the outside looking in, because you're always the what if, well, should I? I don't know. Should I? I don't know. And you're always pulling back. It's like, you got to do something, So, yeah, it's been cool to watch. Looking at how the culture here is changing. Again, I don't know the culture from 4 years ago. I can only assume by knowing just people that have lived here for a while, right? Where it's very, very conservative, very just sort of low tone, and people now coming in from, Orange County, or coming in from, the Bay Area, or, these bigger cities that got crazy, come out here. And some of the people that we see, it's like, okay, trying to keep up with the Joneses, and others are super conservative, on what they're doing. And it's definitely, it's cool to see, but you can see the different pockets of housing communities that are, all right, here's the keeping with the Joneses community, and here's the conservative community, So it is pretty cool to see that, and then just know people that live in these different areas and just hear their stories. Oh, this neighborhood is bonkers because it's just people are off the rails 24/7, and others are like, yeah, super chill, over here. We just know all of our neighbors, and we hang out and we relax,
It's always been like the funniest part. It's even like, even working with Greg, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's probably one of my favorite agents to work with because he's just so chill.
Yeah.
All the clients I meet are super chill.
Right.
Right. I mean, granted, there's the rare occasion when somebody yells at me and I have to play the black card
Yeah.
because I'm flying my drone and I'm doing my job, which I actually did. And it was the most hysterical thing because, I mean, excuse my language, but like, he was an asshole.
Yeah.
And he didn't believe that I was doing my job.
Right.
And at the end, he was like, well, threatening me, I'm going to call the broker. And I'm like, well, that's great because he's a good friend of mine. Yeah. So please, by all means, call him.
Yeah.
And I remember him, cussing at me, calling me names. And then finally, Greg calls me and he's like, we're good. And then he comes in and knocks on my window again and, shakes his hand. He's like, I apologize. And I'm like, yeah, see, I wasn't lying to you. Like, I got 5 other friends of mine.
You were scoping out his house?
Yeah, I got 5 other friends of mine, and I'm not trying to play the card or anything, but they are white and they are flying their drones. And a couple of them don't have their license. Awesome. I do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's always fun, too, just to be able to work with different brokers and different teams too, in different areas, because you get to see like the different personalities, the different people, right? Sometimes it might be military community, it might be people that moved over, relocated from California, some people that relocated from maybe a different country.
Sure.
So there's multiple different areas that people can live in Idaho.
Oh, it's
I think make it a good place.
Yeah, and people are always like, oh, it's predominantly white. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. Yeah. Right? It's like, we're all human. So how do we sit here and communicate with each other outside of whatever the color is? It's like, who cares? I mean, for me growing up in the Central Valley, where it's like the armpit of California, and we had 5,000 kids at our high school, so we had a mixture of everything. It's like you're friends with everyone, and if you weren't, you got into your fight, and the next day you're friends again. It's like, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah, you have to be able to have hard conversations, right?
Right. So it is. We had a friend that was looking to move out here, and Hispanic, and she's like, are there any Hispanics out there? And I said, well, yeah, I said, there's this and that. There's everyone, that's out here. It just depends on what you're looking for, but it was funny because that's sort of the question,
Everything is changing.
It could be good. It could be bad. It could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah. We talk about change too, because you ask questions about me. You've been working on a lot of different programs. What's been changing in your world?
Man, well, obviously still trying to build, or rebuild the business. That's always the fun part, because the marketing structure of today is not what it was 15 years ago. Right. So it's me trying to fast track my knowledge into, all right, how do you get into the marketing aspect of stuff, and how do you, again, it's a whole new industry, like, all right, I've, put my roots into what I do, and now it's like, all right, well, now you have to do video, and now you have to edit, and now you have to do a podcast, and now you have to do just keep naming things, and you're like, well, those themselves are their own, business entities, So now it's like I feel like I'm wearing like 10 different hats, whereas before I had like team members that would sort of do stuff, or I had employees. I'm like, all right, your job is to do this and your job is to do this. Now it's like my job is to do everything, and I just feel like the way my brain works, I just get scrolled out, right? And so I'm like, I start working on something, all of a sudden something pops into my head and I'll go over to it, and then all of a sudden I'm like fast tracking over a whole different direction, and I got to pull myself back to try and finish, things that I'm working on. But yeah, the fun part for me is like building programs. It's fun to do. The hardest part for me is trying to figure out the algorithm of pulling my videos from one area and putting them into the program over here in this other area, right? That right there is probably the most time consuming thing that, that takes up my time. It's, and I don't know if there's anything that's out there, that's easy. Just, all right, here it is. And here's the words, and just send it straight to the program.
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because like there is no easy way. Like every time I go to these masterminds or different conferences where the primary focus is how to make more money, or how to generate more revenue or sales, or get your business ready to, be open to selling it off to some venture capital firm or private equity firm so you can exit, right? That stuff is all great, but what about the work to get there? Like, what about your mental health, your bodily health? I mean, how the nutrition that you're using to fuel your body, right? And yet so many people are so anxious to throw money at that. But then when it comes to their health, their mobility, it's so hard. Right? It's just those tedious things that you have to do. It's part of your business, but at the end of the day, it educates people. It provides value. Yeah. Because you're giving people a roadmap to become a better version of themselves and to, perform at a higher level. Just maybe it's not sports anymore, right? Yeah. But maybe it's just to be able to run around with the kids when you're 60 years old, or go on trips and be able to feel like your body's not breaking or falling apart. So that's so much what I've seen is so lacking. Like, people are so fascinated. Even when I was mentioning with Ricardo, stepping up to the tee, like on an oceanfront course I've never played, after a long day of working, and my body just knows what to do. It's because, I remember the mobility routines I just did in the morning. Sure. I mean, and it's how I want my body to feel and function throughout the entire day. So nothing's really changed. Yeah. It's just something I do every day. Yeah. I don't have to fake it. You don't have to try to cover it up or mask it. It's just the small repetitions that you put in every day.
But I think that's the hard part that people don't want to do, because they, again, like all these masterminds, and I've been, part of, some as well, and they're all in there trying to get you to, sell your practice off if that's the case, right? But, or your business, whatever it is, but your business has to scale in order to do that. Like, no one's just going to come in and be like, oh, hey, you're doing a good job, I want to buy your practice. It's like, that's never going to happen, right? And same thing with business. And so I think a lot of people, and I could, it could be 90% of the people, it could be even higher than that, right? When it comes to doing something hard for themselves, they choose not to, right? So in order for you to create the change that you're looking for, you got to spend time in said situation, right? Whatever that is. Well, how long are you willing to stay in that to create the change that you're looking to change? I want the change done now, right? Since I want the change now, I'm not willing to work till tomorrow. I want to see it done now. That's my profession, right? It's like, come in, lay on the table. Let's make some noises happen, right? And we're good to go, And so I think that's one of the things that just drives me nuts. It's like, we're selling you a bag of goods that is not health, right? And so, but yet you think that I'm making you a healthier human by realigning your spine or making noises happen or whatever that Cairo, just sold you. Yeah. But he didn't change anything long lasting for you, because what is he now asking you to do? Come back in 2 days, right? Let's do it again. A 5-minute treatment. So you're telling me 5 minutes worth of a treatment is worth your health. So I should be able to walk into the gym, do 5 minutes of exercise, and walk out and be like, I'm healthier.
That's not how it works.
No, I should be able to eat, just a small portion of healthy food, right? And be able to do whatever else I want after that and be like, I ate healthy. But I think that's how a lot of us, we want to think, because when it does get too hard for us to actually do something, we shut off. Oh, it's too hard. I'm not seeing the results. Well, yeah, the results aren't this exponential growth. It's this long linear line. That's, it's the long game. It's not a short game. But yet we all want the long game in the short time, right? Which is, again, sometimes the hardest part to try and like sell people, if you will. It's like, we can help you. We can totally help you. It's a time thing. How much are you willing to invest in that time? What's your time worth to you, right? So if your time is worth something to you, right, then you're going to pay whatever it is, because, hey, if it's 5 visits, 10 visits, 20 visits, but that 20 visits could be over a year or 2 years or whatever it might be, right? At that game, you're now learning and you're still building and you're still building and you're still building, versus I'm going to come in and let some guy just, or girl, right? Just make some noises, and the louder it was, the better my adjustment was today, and it's something that I needed, and come on back in 2 days and we'll do it all over again, but let's shoot some more x-rays, right? And let's just show how your spine's all crooked. I'm like, who cares? It's like, who cares what your spine looks like? Because if you never had pain, would you care, right? And the answer is no, right? So it is really trying to educate these people that, hey, this is a long game, right? And if we can create the long game sort of mentality, no different than business. Business is not a short game. Business is a long game. Yeah, some people, they make it really quick, but at the end of the day, it's like they're building for a period of time, and then they exponentially will take off. I think even in our industry where people are looking for that quick fix, and whether it's physical therapy or chiropractic, right? And we know what healthcare has now done. I mean, you look at, I think the metrics for, going into seeing like your primary care physician, it's like 7.5 minutes is like what they need in order to, with insurance reimbursements and all that type of stuff. And that's why you go in to see your doctor and they're always running late, because they're going to go over 7 minutes. So an hour into it, you're already running late. It's like, how in the heck, I have a 9 o'clock appointment, you started at 8 o'clock, why are you already 20 minutes behind? Well, because they were already that many minutes late, on the previous people that they had to see in that 7-minute time frame. So by 5 o'clock at night, like, you're being seen at 7 o'clock. It's a 2-hour wait, at that point. They just, I'm going to cancel your appointment, right? Reschedule you. So again, looking at like the long game mentality is such a hard thing to try and get people to grasp, because it's just like your diet. If you want to change your diet, what do you have to do, right? You got to change the way you eat. That's a hard thing. That's behavioral, right? The way your body moves, that's behavioral, right? The way your body feels, a lot of time, that's behavioral, right? So if we're always creating these behavioral shifts to the easy, right? Life doesn't get easier, right? It just starts compartmentalizing you, right? And we just start, narrowing down what we can do. And then pretty soon we're like, we eat this food, we do this movement, and I hurt. So I do less, right? Or I'm gaining my weight, so I'm going to eat less. Well, maybe it's not, the fact that you're eating, that now you're decreasing the amount of consumed food that you're taking. How about the food that you're eating? You eat in your McDonald's every day and your Taco Bell and I just don't have time to cook. Well, then what are you eating?
That's funny. It's funny that you go into that too, because that's so much of how like I would start looking at maybe other people looked up to. Right? It's like, yeah, I want to be like that guy. And I'm like, okay, but that guy, his body hurts every day.
Right.
Like, he's got to take pain pills. Like, he has a crap diet. Doesn't lift. Like, you can clearly tell, he doesn't take care of his body because of the way that it's performing.
Yeah.
And then I always like to correlate that with everybody loves Formula One. Everybody look at Formula One drivers. Formula One drivers are like trying to optimize every inefficiency so that they can perform at the highest level. But it's not just them. It's the car. It's their body. It's their mindset. It's the mobility routines that they do, right? For training. They don't care how much they can bench press. They care about how strong their spine is and the endurance of
handling
their core
G-forces.
And being able to handle the G-force throughout an extended amount of time. Maybe it's, in a really humid track where there's tons of turns or 50% more turns. And so like you think that, it's not that hard to, turn a car, but it's like, okay, well, it's a whole nother scenario when you're going almost 200 miles an hour.
And you got 4 cars around you that are 2 inches away from you.
Exactly. And you have to be precise. And if you screw up and you make a mistake, well, there goes millions of dollars worth of a car that sponsors now have to inject another investment, which I can tell you right now, if you keep crashing the cars, they're probably not going to be around.
No. But I think that's every sport. That's every professional athlete. Yeah. Right. They are trying to optimize every little bit of information that they can to make their body move better. Yeah. And today's, sports science is completely different than it was 10 years ago and 20 years ago and 30 years ago. Right. Everything's just getting smarter and smarter and smarter. But people might be getting bigger, faster, stronger, and you're starting to see more of these injuries, happen as well because their body hasn't created that adaptation process yet. Where maybe in another 10 years as the training sort of game, changes to be better, or the human body is adapting a little bit differently. Maybe we'll see less and less and less. I don't know. But you look at the amount of Achilles injuries and ACL injuries, and I don't know, if the numbers today are the same as they were 10 years ago. I'm assuming they're probably worse, just because everyone is getting bigger, faster, stronger. But I haven't looked at like those numbers, but I guarantee all those people, if they do tear something, they're looking to optimize their rehab as fast as they can to get every body part to move as best it can. But the body's going to heal when the body wants to heal, right? That's the hard part that people don't understand. They just think that, they can come in here and we can do magic stuff. It's like, we can make you move better, but your tissue's going to heal when it wants to heal. Just because you don't have pain doesn't mean you still don't have problem, right? And I think that's where a lot of people, they get lost in the weeds is, I have pain, I have problem. What happens if you take pain away and we still have problem? Right? That's what I look at, is I want to know the problem. I want to know the underlying root cause. Care, but don't care about your pain. Because your pain doesn't really tell us anything. It just says, hey, we have problem. The body's sending off its alarms. Yeah. Right? So it's fun diving into the weeds, whether it's professional athletes or weekend warriors or people that just want to go move better. Right? That's the part that I love, because that right there is a different goal. The high achievers, their goal is to go still achieve at a high level. Love doing that, but again, they're so compartmentalized as to what they can and can't do already. They're the super freaks, right? Because their diets are dialed. They got people that make their food for them, right? I mean, it's a whole different world where us mortals, it's like we're doing it on our own. We have to want it, right? And if we want it, then we start to create the change, and we create the behavioral change, and it becomes easier because why? We've now done it for time. And it just becomes a maintenance, sort of thing. It's like, all right, I do my routine, go out there and I go play some golf.
That's literally been my routines. My entire gym routine has completely changed. The way that I train, the way that I warm up, I work out completely different now. And my body feels better. Like it feels ready to attack the day. Not just through going out and golf, but whether it's driving the car, right? Like I'm driving better. Like I feel like I feel more, like my body's more aware and prepared, and like actually driving's more fun now.
Well, you have a different car.
Well, yeah, I mean, I finally have a car that works, you know, like, I mean, it's actually nice. Like it performs well, but I can feel the difference, maybe just even getting into Formula One, that's been, kind of, I've started caring about it more, but even, helping, this luxury car dealership, market some of their cars too. Like I can feel the difference in the performance now. Like, and I think that's fun, but not only that, you talk about movement. My job in filmmaking is to literally master movement. Yeah. Because, a lot of these kids are doing the, speed ramps and the transitions and whatnot. Well, that all masks the smoothness of your shots. Sure. You can speed up, you can slow down, you can use a bunch of features, but when you're shooting like in industry standards, which is 24 frames per second, there is no giveaway. Yeah. Your whole job is to be able to capture the ocean moving the way the eye naturally sees it, or a car moving the way the eye naturally sees it, or a human moving the way the eye naturally sees it. And so now it's like you have to be so precise with your movements, which has been funny because in all my jobs now, like it doesn't matter what I'm shooting slow-mo or 60 or 24. I can capture things so smoothly and effortlessly that it just it almost feels like a sport to me. It becomes a game. Yeah. Some people are like, well, yeah, but I don't want to have a camera in my hands forever. And it's like, okay, but you're running a marketing and a branding agency. Like part of what you do, it involves a camera. Right. And like, I've heard so many people say, just train somebody to be you. And it's like, okay, yeah, but do you think that Tom Brady can train somebody else to be him in that position? No, he needs to find somebody else that can catch the ball in order for him to continue to do what he does. Right. Yeah. It's like, you have to build a team, but everybody has these specialized gifts and can operate at a high level, and you guys all work together and you can create amazing things together. That's so much of what I've been learning around me, is just surrounding myself with people that they do take the effort to take care of their bodies, their health, their nutrition, their mindset, their energy. I mean, just the people around them, it's polarizing. You can just tell when you're around that higher level. That's what I've gotten from being able to travel and work in all these different luxury markets, is just seeing like the level and attention to detail. It's not just like, cool, you drive the car and you wear the stuff and the clothes and you've got the Rolex. It's like, okay, well, great. Like, but do you take care of yourself? Yeah. Because if you don't, to me, you're a ticking time bomb. Yeah. You're basically like driving a high performance car without changing the oil when you need to change it, or replacing the tires when you need to replace them.
Yeah.
I mean, Adderall and all these other, and Vyvanse and all these other drugs can, help you operate at a completely higher level, but it's almost like
It's only a matter of time before you
it's
burn out.
like using nitrous, right?
Yeah.
I mean, nitrous isn't meant
only good for so long.
Yeah, it's not meant to be pushed the entire time. So like you can imagine, what is that going to do to the engine if you run it on overdrive and redline it all the time? Stuff's going to wear out faster.
Sure.
Are you taking the time to slow down? And okay, well, if you do have to replace things, well, you can't be moving at that speed.
No.
You have to take a pit stop, and you have to have people come in and diagnose what's the problem. Here's how we fix the problem. Oh, well, great. Like, I mean, maybe you've got an injury. Maybe we've got to spend more time on this. And then guess what happens? Like, you can come out and perform at an even higher level, or fix the problem that maybe you didn't have pain with, but it was just part of what you were experiencing at the time, which prevented you from getting to the level that you were trying to get at, or from even coming out with a win. So I think mobility has been so key in everything that I've been doing. I've been trying to showcase it to people, but nobody cares. Like, nobody wants to do it because it's like watching paint dry, like you said.
Right? Yeah. No one wants to sit there and spend that time when, especially if they don't feel much of anything right now, because they think, oh, I'm working well, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, let's just show you where things you could probably optimize a little bit better, right? And for the most part, there's not really anyone that can't use it to some degree, right? Unless you're already a ninja, and you're already good, But with that, it is really trying to get people to understand that, hey, whatever your goal is, let's get you to your goal and let's achieve your goal. And if you choose to do something else, then we have to modify our programming in order to get you to that next goal. Mm-hmm. It's not just we create maintenance and then we build to next goal, because what have you done to build the next goal? Right? We didn't do anything. We just jumped to next goal, and we expected our bodies to perform because I didn't have any pain, and I mean, I would hear it all the time with like CrossFit, oh, I went to CrossFit and I got hurt. Okay, but CrossFit didn't hurt you, right? Like, you hurt you, CrossFit did not hurt you, but you tore 2 ACLs playing soccer and you're still playing soccer. Mm-hmm. Like, do you see how those don't work? Because they're like, well, soccer isn't a, high impact. Yeah, but you tore 2 ACLs. You did worse in soccer than you did having just some low back pain in CrossFit, right? So it's very interesting to see people's mindsets and just sort of their psyche when it does come to, sport, activity, injury, and then we hear, I hear it all the time. I just hear stories and, all right, here's this history, here's this. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's all fluff, right? It's like, unless you got taken out or something, an acute injury, I get that. That's just, you're in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. That happens in sport too, or activity or whatever. You fall off your bike. All right. You didn't see that one coming, but it is, what could we do to now make things better? And those that are just having chronic pain, chronic knee issues, ankle issues, low back issues, neck issues, whatever it is, like, what are you doing outside of the office? I don't care whose office it is. What are you doing to make yourself a better you? If you did nothing to make yourself a better you, and that's sleep, and that's, your hydration, and that's your food intake, and that's, your ability to move, and like, I don't care if people do, mobility work or not. Just give me something a day. Give me 1% change a day. Mm-hmm. That's it. Just give me 1%.
1% better every day.
That's it. And if you can make yourself 1% better, 3 months time, you're 90+% better. Mm-hmm. Right? I guarantee if you could tell yourself right now, in 3 months time, I have the potential ability to be 90% better, you do it. Right? If there was that golden, all right, I'm going to pay you $1 million in 3 months time. Now you have a goal in mind. Mm-hmm. Right? The hard part is how do we keep staying with it? Because what a lot of people do is they're like, oh, I'm 2.5 months in, I haven't done anything. I got to now grind on it. And nothing changes, and that's the hard part that you see with people, quite a bit. Mm-hmm. It's like, you get people that come in, you haven't seen them for a long time, like, hey, you've been working on this. Oh, I fell off the wagon. I'm doing this. And you hear all the excuses, and like, okay, right back to the basics. Well, we did this before. Yeah, and you still don't have it. So guess what? We're going back to this basic movement again, and it's like, you just keep pounding it in your head. And a lot of times, like, well, then I'm not going to come back. I'm going to go see someone else because I want a different answer. Mm-hmm. But nothing changes, right? They just got a different subjective outcome, from someone else. So nothing objectively ever changes with them. So
it's true, because so much of when, people don't want to put in the time, right? And you feel like you got to go back and start. It's like everyone's tracking the numbers, but are you tracking your body too?
Right.
we have to do that too. You travel, and I mean, on the weekends, yeah, you want to be able to decompress a little bit, and not everybody drinks. Everybody has their vice, right?
Sure.
But for me and Val, like, it's tequila. We're in the Caribbean, so like it's part of kind of the culture. I love tequila. I bartended in college, like prepping myself for medical school, and like I worked at a tequila bar, so like I got really versed on it, and it's processed differently.
Yeah,
I had to tell people, hey, it's a probiotic, so it's good for my GI tract, right?
It's a salad.
In chemistry, I was like, it's the only one that has stimulants and depressants in it, so like it's better for me. I mean, I'm not saying it's really good for me, but
it's better.
Hey, I watched some of the culture, and they take a shot of it in the morning, so like it's probably not bad for you, but everyone has their little vice, but it's always like we have to like make sure, okay, like we can't do this all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's not worth it. It's not
sustainable.
A lot of my mentors would say like, hey, it's not worth it. Some of them just completely stop altogether, right? And I started realizing, especially, I just say it, especially because it's a part of the LDS culture too. I mean, they don't drink,
right?
But then I'd see some of my buddies that would be at events.
That's a whole different issue with that one.
It is a whole different issue, but like I'm just saying as a generality that like there is a way, because some of them would be at these events and they would have absolutely zero alcohol. And they'd be having a blast. And I remember, messaging
because
some
they're
of
so
them,
hyped
like,
up on sugar.
Do you guys have anything? And they're like,
they
we just had
9
candy. And I'm like,
sodas.
okay, so then like I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But everybody, like, you have to take everything in moderation, like, and be able to track, even with nutrition too. Like, I mean, do you really think it's gonna be good for you to like pound energy drinks every day?
Yeah.
I mean,
you gotta burn something up.
Yeah, something's gonna get burned out.
Yeah.
I definitely learned that. That's how I met my wife, right?
Yeah.
I put myself in the hospital because I wasn't sleeping. Like, I was consuming way too much caffeine. Like, I did have a prescription for Adderall. So like when I didn't sleep, or maybe I needed to stay up all night in order to make a deadline happen, I would take it, and then I would continue on in the morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, be like, all right, let's just keep going. We'll have a coffee and go to the gym and
keep rolling.
My body is going to keep performing, right? But then I never gave it a chance to recover from that, right? I almost thought in my head, oh, well, sleep's for the week. I'd have the David Goggins and the, what's his face? Jocko Willink, right? In my head, like sitting there being like, stop being a pussy. Like, push through, right? Like if it's, if you're tired in the mind, you're weak in the mind, like just, it's in the mind, like forget about it. But it's amazing how being able to take the time to sleep and rest and relax and, disconnect from and unplug from the work life and the business and from everything, and be able to spend time even just with my wife, the spouse, right? Work on our relationship, work on our communication, work on the health of what we have together. I think that's huge too. Just because I make a bunch of money doesn't mean that she's going to love me more. No. Like, it's more so
Again, it's the long game.
Yeah, it's the long game. Right. Like, we want to grow old together. We want to build something beautiful together. We want to help more people. But if we don't take the time to take care of ourselves and make sure that we arrive in good condition, well, then it's
there is no you.
Yeah, there is none. It's just like a car. It's like, take really crappy care of the car, and when you get to the end of the road, I mean, is it going to be a classic car or it's in great condition and you took care of it, you made sure it's running in good condition, you got the right parts, and you spent the money, even as painful as it was sometimes, to take care of it. You look at it and it's like, it doesn't matter, it's in 1960, but it's in premium condition. Yeah. Like, there's all the new stuff that looks fun and fast for now, but in 50 years, if you don't take care of it, it's going to be like any of those other cars that's in the junkyard. Yep. Like, throw it away. Yep.
And that's what people do. Yeah. Just throw it away. Or they just succumb to the, nothing will ever change. Well, nothing will ever change if you never make the change. If you're not willing to take that step forward and actually create the change you're wanting, right? Not just dreaming about it. It's like, and that's, I think, business. Go back to, you guys, heading off to Puerto Rico. If we're even to, Lake Havasu, right? I mean, you've made some choices, whether they're good or bad. They're all good because you learn from all of them, right? Yeah. It might have been bad in the moment, but you learn from those mistakes, right? Yeah. And whether it was a good mistake or a bad mistake, you lost money, you gained money, whatever it was, you learn from that, from that issue, and then you build for your next one again so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. And what's so funny is, like, even the founder of the firm, I mean, I remember him, being really advantageous about going to the gym, right? Like, I could tell everything I need to know about a person because Jim never lies. And I'm like, yeah, Jim never lies. And I looked at your mobility and your flexibility. Yeah. And you had pain. You were having issues, and you didn't do anything about it. And I presented you the information, and yet you ignored it. And so that reveals to me everything, because truly wealthy and successful people will look at someone coming in, giving them and it's not them coming in and trying to change who they are. It's literally just presenting, hey, these are tools that can quite literally help you become a better version of you. You could get 1% better just by doing this.
Sure.
You don't have to change anything. You can spend 10, 15 minutes a day doing these very simple things. They don't even require you to have weights.
No.
They don't even require you to go to the gym.
No.
You can do them in a hotel room. You can do it on a plane. You can do it wherever. Anywhere. I do them everywhere. I do them on the beach. Yeah. I do them. I mean, I do them at the restaurants we go to. Like sometimes if I'm hopping off of a call, and we've been, at Royal Isabella, and there's a nice little lawn over there. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go do it right there.
Yeah.
5 minutes. We'll go do some, like 90s and stretch out the spine, maybe do some, vertebral segmentation. I mean, there's just so many things that you can do at all times. And yet I feel like that's so much of what's been a little bit of an eye-opener to me, is start to observe the people around me and how I don't have time for it. I'm like, yeah, but check your phone real quick, go to your screen time and show me how much time you're spending in TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, on the internet, and tell me again,
there's your time,
that you don't have enough time.
Yeah.
There is so much time. And when I look at people sometimes, and I'm like, oh yeah, you value time because you have a nice watch, or
sure,
whatever that signifies. It's the Rolex, right? Cool. Well, make time for the things that matter most so that you can arrive at your destination in great condition.
Again, you get rid of all of the material goods, you're still left with you. No matter you have $1 million, $10 million, $100 million, or $1 billion, who cares? At the end of the day, you're left with you. Mm-hmm. And if you still can't go move the way you want to go move, there's no amount of money right now that's going to make your body move any different. You can go get new knees and new hips and new shoulders and all that type of stuff, but those aren't going to make you move any better. Mm-hmm. You just bought time. That's all it was, right? So you just bought yourself a new knee because you didn't put the time in before to figure out the why, right? Your body just didn't say one day, hey, guess what? You're welcome. We just gave you a bad knee, right? And we're going to give you now a new knee because you're of age, or again, a hip or whatever it might be, right? But those are those are the behaviors that, that we have to try and instill. And that starts at a young age. Mm-hmm. Like you look at kids today, they're stuck on these phones, right? And they're on these phones or on their computers. They're moving less and less and less. Pretty soon it will be the Matrix where you're just plugged in and you're just not moving anymore. Yeah. Well, at that point, when we live in this like true virtual world and all we're doing is plugged in, then I guess you don't have to worry about moving, But until that point, we still have to move, right? We still have to do stuff because evolution has not selected our legs out yet, right? We still have them for a reason. Mm-hmm. So we still have to ambulate around this world and go from point A to point B and up and down stairs and whatever we have to do. So it's like, let's just make our bodies move better. But it's not just the moving part, it's all the other things that go into it. Mm-hmm. Again, people just aren't willing to, they're not willing to play with, that's too hard. Oh, I forgot to eat here. It's like, okay, so one day of bad food, who cares? One day of drinking, whatever. It's not the end of the world. Start again tomorrow. Start again today. Mm-hmm. Build one day at a time. Give me that 1% change on a daily basis, right? So if you create that 1% change, then your body always is going to create some change that it wants to. But if you choose nothing, your body's like, hey man, I'm conserving energy. I'm going to cheat your movement, mm-hmm. And I'm going to do that all the time. So until all of a sudden you're this person and you're 50 years old, but you're moving like they say, like a 90-year-old, well, I've got, an 86-year-old that I'm working on right now, that, hey man, that guy, he wants to still live and he's motoring, I just finished with some knee rehab from a lady, she's 85. No, she's 86, he's 85. And, same thing. Like for the first 3 to 4 weeks of the rehab, she was gung-ho about stuff, and then 4 weeks in, all of a sudden, her knee's moving, everything's moving. She's like, I want to go to the races. I'm like, you need to pump the brakes, right? It's like, yes, I know that you want to go take off and go do what you want to go do, but there's parameters we have to work within, Your body's still healing, things are moving, but you're on the right track. But she's got a goal in mind. Her goal is to keep living, where people in their 30s and 40s are like, I don't care right now. I got plenty of time left. I'm like, yeah, but you really don't. You really don't.
Yeah, it's literally time's running out.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life now. Is like people are wondering like why are you just like working every day? And it's like, well, I give my body enough time to sleep every day.
Yeah,
I give it the right fuel. I'm excited because I've now recognized that time is literally the most valuable thing I have, and I don't want to waste it anymore.
Right.
Like I don't need a car or a watch or a number in my bank account in order for me to recognize that. I just need to be able to just take pride in that and the gift that I have, which is my life, and be like, you know what? I'm going to start taking care of this because one day I am going to get old. That is the reality. And one day I will die.
You are getting older. Every day we get older.
Every day.
Every day we don't get younger.
No.
We are getting, I mean, we went to a restaurant the other day, and I don't remember where we were at, but, they carded us when we were in there, right? And I said, I am closer to 100 than I'll ever be back to 21.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're wrong. I said, no. I said, I'm right. They said, well, how is that? And I said, look I am never going to get closer to 21. I am getting every day further and further and further and further away. Mm-hmm. I am closer to 100 than I'll ever be back to 21 because I can't go backwards.
True.
Right? And then all of a sudden you just see that light, go on with them.
You're like, wow, and it's like, that's why it's important to focus on the present and the future, not the past.
Yeah, right. Past is in
Learn
the past
from
for
the
a reason.
past,
Right.
But be here.
Yeah. So that was cool.
That's good. All right. Well, I think we got some really good stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a great first episode.
There we go.
Thank you, Dr. Brink. If you guys don't know, Dr. Brink is the man behind all of the success that has been in me moving my body and becoming a better version of myself. So you've probably seen me posting videos on it. And if you haven't bought into the course, you probably should, because it is a small investment of time. And I promise it's going to be cheaper than an airline ticket for you to go to your next vacation.
That's right.
And you'll probably be able to make it to that vacation a lot faster because your body's just going to be moving better. So
but you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to do it. You just have to do it. You have to actually buy. So make sure to check it out. And if you have any questions, he's always available for free 30-minute consultation.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So thanks for listening, guys. I'll make sure to keep more of this coming out because there is so much that I need to and want to be able to share with the world. So thanks for tuning in, guys.
Sweet.